Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20, and welcome to episode 26 of Direwolf20's Let's Play Dyson Sphere series, where today, I'm continuing to run into the problems that I've been having the last few episodes. Not huge problems per se, but, you know, the standard kind of stuff that you run into a game like this. We're running out of resources. Well, we're not running out of resources. I should be more accurate in my verbiage here. We're not running out of resources. We are getting to the point where we are running into a resource problem, as it were. Mostly that problem being, you know what, I can play. Some of our veins are getting low. That's basically what's happening. So, like, I just cleared out a copper vein that I was mining. This copper vein here that I was mining is starting to get low. And what happens is, you know, you start getting less copper, and then you start producing less copper, and then as a result, your factories all start shutting down because they're not getting enough copper, because they're not getting enough resources, right? So that's a bad time all around. We want to resolve that situation. So I'm going to see if I can plop down. I can plop down one of these dudes. Awesome. Sweet. So, what I'm going to do is, last episode, we started, like, building dedicated, like, mass smelting and processing areas, right? And we've got a massive area on the other side of the planet-ish that's producing copper bars for us. So, like, what we want to start doing is moving away from mining locally and then belting resources to where they need to go, and instead start importing iron and copper from these, like, mass smelting areas that we have set up. Cool? So that's kind of the plan to get started with today. So you go ahead and juice yourself up. You're going to demand, let's do, like, you know, 2,500-ish. Does that sound nice? And then what I'm going to do is pull copper out here. Now, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to priority the copper from the north side of this belt. So what that should do is it'll send some drones out, and I'm going to have you guys min load 50% here, because that sounds like a good time. What this should do is it means that any copper that's coming from this side of the belt will be prioritized to head towards this side of the belt. And holy cow, I still have tier 1 belts on my planet. It's amazing how that actually happens. I don't know how that happens, but it happens nonetheless. So this should solve my copper problem. So see how this belt is backstuffing, even though it's tier 3 and this one is tier 2, it's not backstuffing. It's important to do that. For me, I think it's important to do that. And you're like, well, why, Dire? Why do you care? Well, what I'd like to do is eventually get rid of all this dire belting. And the best way to handle this is to let this copper vein be completely exhausted. So let's completely, you know, get rid of all the copper that's here and let it, you know, do its thing. Now, in addition to that, we've completely run out of this stuff. Some coal. Yeah, we are out of coal like nobody's business. We have no coal. We have no coal heading down here. Due to the lack of coal, we also have a lack of supermagnetic rings. So that's terrible. That's terrible. That's something we should probably resolve at some point. We are completely out of the blue things. The blue motors. So we should probably handle that in some way, shape, or form. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to clear out pretty much all of this. So let's clear you, let's clear you, let's clear you, you, and you. You guys can hang out for a bit, that's fine. And let's do, like, the mass clearing. Now, does this guy have the expand cursor mode? Oh, he does. That is good times. That is cool beans. Now, are you guys going to be all, you just disconnected my whole network from each other? You might, so I'm going to be super smart about not doing that. My goodness, how cool is this? I like the sound of this, for sure. Okay, how's that look? Not too shabby. So we reclaimed a lot of terrain there. But let's go find another vein. And how am I for this stuff? We should probably make more of these. So, two major resources that we're going to have to amp up in the immediate future are orange chips, which are these guys. And you can see I actually just recently threw a little dude here to make it easier for me to accumulate orange chips, because I was so low that I was not able to get it anywhere. So rather than stocking it in the planetary logistics station, I'm stocking it in this inventory spot right here. Mostly because it oh, I didn't want to do that. Alright, and then you go, okay, cool, perfect. Mostly because that'll just make my life way easier. And it looks like I'm okay on most things. We're going to need to get our super magnetic rings up and running again, though. Like, lickety-split. So, where's a nearby coal vein that's not really being tapped into yet? You're producing graphite for power, and I think I might leave you be. But is there another coal vein? There's, like, almost a million coal there. There's almost a million coal there. A couple nice little veins of it. Coal's not, you know, particularly uncommon. There's a covered-up coal vein here that's almost a million. Coal is definitely a more common resource than you would think. So maybe this almost a million down here would be cool. So that's over by our, this dude. That doesn't look like a terrible spot. Yeah, we could go tap into this coal vein. Now what we're probably going to want to do is flatten the terrain a little bit. Not too crazy. And we're not going to go too nuts with too much of anything. But the plan here should be, I don't think I need raw coal for hardly anything. So I think this will just be a energetic graphite miner, right? That's all it's going to be. I think that should be fine, too. Now, I wonder how cool I can be. So that would be north, right, of my planet. So I want to do an east to west thing. Now, you have an empty slot here. Even though you're interstellar, and you have logistics vessels getting things, don't you? So I kind of don't want... Well... I'm probably going to want to hold off on... I don't want to use this slot, because I'm going to want to bring space warpers in here. And... because eventually I'm going to need to get silicon from other planets. Right? We're getting close to that point. So I think what I'll have is a dedicated-ish logistics station. Cool. I think that sounds like a plan to me. Yeah, I think that sounds like a plan to me. So with that said, let's set this bad boy up, right? So you're going to go... We don't have enough soil pile. Erg. That's the worst. You know, I'm going to do... No decoration for this. So by doing this, you basically accumulate a bunch of soil pile for yourself. So see how much soil pile I just got it? But you need a lot of soil pile. I would love to see in the future the ability to get more soil pile some way other than just doing this. Now, do I still have my blueprint for smelters set up? Yes? So this is doing that, huh? It's not good, but what I'll probably do, let's go ahead and get him set up. But then we're going to clear out these belts once everything's placed and reverse them. How are you guys doing? Wow, you're still not producing enough. Holy cow, we're going to have to amp that up at some point. What's our problem here? Are we not getting enough unipolar magnets, or are we just not transferring them fast enough? The answer is we're actually not getting them fast enough. All our drones, or all our vessels are out there collecting more unipolar magnets for us. I told you we would need a lot of those, remember? Told you we would need a lot of those. Now I think... here is where these guys are chilling, so I'm going to snag a couple of them. Okay, and then a little bit of steel, which, again, we now have access to in our logistics dudes. Once I can remember where I put steel production. There it is. Sweet. Isn't it nice being able to snag stuff like this from the logistics station? It's so good. It's so good. So basically, we're gonna just this and this. And then we'll do that, okay? And then your job will be energetic graphite as a supply. Bada bing, bada boom. And then it's a real simple matter of doing this. I generally like to do belts Mark II. Oh, and yeah, we want to change you guys to be energetic graphite. I might need to be a little closer to paste on top of these dudes. There you go. Sweet. And then belt 3 into here. Belt 3 into here. And that should be cool. That looks pretty darn good to me. And then you're gonna make all the energetic graphite that we're gonna need for the time being. Now I might need a little bit more. We'll see. We'll see if that becomes, you know, not producing enough. But hopefully it's enough. Don't forget we could always upgrade these guys to Mark II smelters. I've been avoiding those where I can because my power is not in a beautiful state just yet. But eventually we're probably gonna want to do something about that. Now you guys are going, so like we're gonna need energetic in 2 spots here, so I'm basically just gonna do that. Pop this guy down. Let's pop in, I'm gonna delete you because we don't need that no mores. We'll plop down these guys. I might start putting 20 in. And you're gonna demand energetic graphite. Give me like this many. Okay. And then you will be energetic graphite. And it's a little dire-wiry. You know, could I throw another logistics station down here? Absolutely. Absolutely. That would be another option, right? But I think what's best for me at this moment is to, you know, just run the belts. Belts are cheaper than an automated. Energetic graphite is not. Or, I mean, not energetic graphite. Whatchamacallit is not. So let me get like a couple hundred-ish of you. Let me get a couple hundred-ish of you. That should be nice. Okay. Cool. And now these guys are going to be back up and running once again. Now, we need to ramp that up. We don't have anywhere near enough production of either orange chips or any of the motors, right? Like, green motors look okay, but they're actually not okay. Blue motors are super not okay. So at some point, I'm probably going to revamp the whole motor and chip production lines. But what I'd like to do instead, with the time remaining in this episode, is start looking at a Dyson vertical launch silo. That might be cool. Would that be super hard to make? Do we have these stocked? I forget if we were stocking Graviton dudes. Are we stocking? We are. Good, good, good. That seems like a good number. So I can get 2 of these before I get low. Oh, and you're going to even start making the blue chips. Awesome. Okay. And then around here-ish, we've got some of this stuff that we can re-snag. That should be fine. All right, so we're going to take a look at launching rockets into space for our Dyson Sphere. It's our very first step into making a Dyson Sphere. The Swarm has been doing great for us, but it's time to amp that baby up. It's time to do better. So with that said, let's look at what's involved in making a rocket. So Dyson Sphere components are what we need to launch into space using these rocket launch pads. Now, we're going to need a lot of them. So let's take a look. So we've got, in components, there is a small carrier rocket. This is the end product. This is the result of everything that we want to make. It's the delivery vehicle for the Dyson Sphere component. To make it, we are going to need 2 blue chips, 4 deuterium fuel rods, and some Dyson Sphere components. Okay, and the Dyson Sphere components are the structures, the solar sails, and the orange chips. Now, if we take a look over here, we know that we're making the components, the frame materials. But I don't think we're making Dyson Sphere components just yet. But it sounds to me like a good idea that maybe over here is where we'll make the Dyson Sphere components. So if we want, let's make the carrier rockets be produced over there. So in order to make a carrier rocket, we're going to need to import blue chips, we're going to need to import deuterium fuel rods, and on location, we're going to have to craft Dyson Sphere components. So we're going to have to import solar sails and import orange chips, right? Import orange, import blue, import fuel rod, import solar sail, export small carrier rocket. 5 components. So guess what we're going to be placing? This guy. So that said, there's one thing I think that we are not storing in our logistics network of everything I just said, and that would be up here. I do believe that we are not storing deuterium fuel rods, correct? Is that correct? I believe that's correct. Now you've got a bunch of deuterium going this way. I'm debating if I want to tap into the existing logistics station here. Could be a thing that I do. Or I could just pop one here. And what I like about placing this here... I'll tell you what I like about placing this here. Deuterium fuel rods. You can supply like 2,500-ish. Does that sound like a good number? What I like about placing this here is that it'll make sure the deuterium fuel rods go into our fusion power plants before being sent out into the world to be used elsewhere. Because priority should be power. At this point, at least. At this point, at least. At some point, I might be able to get rid of these things, and we'll power everything based on the sun. But clearly, we need more power than that at the moment, and that's what we're going to have to handle. So let's also throw in these guys. I don't think we'll need a particularly large amount. 10 should be enough. If we need more at some point, we can absolutely do that. So you're going to supply deuterium fuel rods for everybody. You guys will produce them. You're doing a great job. I'm super proud of you. If at some point that we decide we need more of these, we can absolutely handle that. But for now, you're producing a healthy-ish amount, right? You're producing, what, am I making 20 per minute? Oh, it makes 2 per operation, so 40 per minute is what's being produced right now. And we can always check this by hitting P. We should be around 40 per minute at this point. Now, it might be off a little bit because it was backstuffed. So, like, yeah, see? But if we go into the last 1 minute, production is 40 per minute. Aha! And consumption's only around 13. So we're definitely, you know, well overproducing what we need to. How's my deuterium? Deuterium production is half of what it needs to be over the last minute. So that's not great. We will probably be replicating this setup a few more times. A few more times. But we'll get there. We'll get there. For now, though, let's get over here and set this up. So in this general-ish area, right, where you guys exist, we're going to want a interstellar logistics. Too close to another logistics station. Really, bro? Need foundation support. That I can handle. Well, we should say maybe too close to another logistics station. You might be too close to this logistics station, which is a little annoying because it's the one I just placed. There's probably a sweet spot here. That's probably your best bet. So then we can feed out the frame materials. We want to request, let's get some power into you. Deuterium fuel rods, solar sails, orange and blue chips, right? Now we're probably going to struggle a little bit to get all those things because my chip production is not ideal at this moment. Let's ask for 1,000 of each. And then your output will be the frame, the small carrier rockets, so like the shebang, the whole deal. Right? Give me 20 of these guys. And you're going to be local demand, local demand, local demand, local demand. Cool? And like I said, orange and blue chips, we're struggling to maintain enough of right now. So it'll be a little bit before we can do that. Cool. I'm almost debating if it's worth even setting this up yet, because we really need to ramp up orange chip production. Like, we are not anywhere near enough of orange chip production. I'm thinking I might want to maybe just get this up and going quickly, and then the next thing I'll focus on is orange chip production, because we've kind of already started it. But like, there's almost no point in setting this up just yet. Almost. Only because, like, you know, hardly got any orange chips. Like, I'm gonna throw a few in there manually, just so we can, like, you know, prepare this. But yeah, let's acknowledge the fact that this is gonna not go super swimmingly. So step one is combining things into this, right? Dyson Sphere components, and then we use those to make the small carrier rockets. So let's figure out, like, the math on this. It takes 8 seconds to make one of those, and then it takes 6 seconds to make one of those. So that's not amazing math. It's almost 1-to-1, though. It's almost 1-to-1, though. Right? So if we wanted to pretend it was 1-to-1, it wouldn't be a horrible... Well, actually, but it needs 2. Yes. Okay, so it's not 1-to-1. It's basically... Ugh. Yucky math is what it is. It's basically yucky math. Because it takes 8 seconds to make one, and then we need one every 3 seconds, right? Or 2 every 6 seconds. Yeah, so this is produced faster. So we're gonna need, yeah. So we're gonna need, so it takes 8 seconds to make one, and we need one every 3 seconds. So I think we're going to need 3 of these to 1 of these. Does that sound fair? 3 Dyson Sphere components to 1 carrier rocket. Assuming we're using the same speed assembler, right? So 3 Dyson Sphere components. Okay, and we're going to start small with this. Yes, a Dyson Sphere needs a lot of resources. Yes, Dyer does not have enough resources for a huge Dyson Sphere just yet. Yes, I know. Everybody keeps telling me in the comments that I'm out of my mind and not having nearly enough. It takes a while to get to the point where you can have a mega structure. We're going to get the ball rolling with a small setup, and then we will expand it. I know I'm not ready yet for a huge and massive Dyson Sphere. We can get the ball rolling. So, okay, so we're going to have this dudes, right? So we're going to want to bring in these guys. Okay, and then we're going to combine them with this and the orange chips, right? Dyer's well aware that he's not quite there yet. We'll be fine. So we said 3-to-1, right? So let's do this. Let's do 6 of these and 2 of the other one. Okay, and then we're going to be ready to loop this around the back. And probably down this-ish way, so that we eventually have room to double this. Okay? We're planning ahead. Something Dire doesn't usually do, but I'm trying. Actually, let's try you here. Does that sound like a cool plan? I like that plan. Okay, so your job will be to make Dyson Sphere components. Okay? You're going to... And we should offset these so that we're ready. But let's be ready for this. Let's be... 1... 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Cool. And then... output. Output. 1, 2. 1, 2. Cool. So there's your Dyson Sphere components. Okay, and then we'll be able to expand this out to the right as we need more. Now, for the rockets, what I'm thinking we're going to do is we will output you guys. We'll output the blue chips. And then I'm thinking we'll feed the rockets in. And what we could have... like this. Yeah. Now we should only do, because we did 6, so we should do 2 realistically. So we'll plan again, prepared for the future. You're going to make these dudes. And then you're going to feed in, feed out. So then if I copied you and pasted, you'd be ready to go. And we are building our very first bit of carrier rockets. Boom. Easy peasy, right? Now, we're not going to be making a ton of these, right? Well, in fairness, we're making 20 per minute. So that's not a bad number, actually. If you really look at it, it's not bad. And you guys over here, once you have enough orange chips, should be making somewhere around 7.5 per minute. Right? Yeah. So I think my math works out. Because it's 15, so 30, so 45. And you guys need 40 per minute? So the math works out, right? We're making just a few more of these per minute than we need. Right? It's 40 per minute that we need, and we're making 45. So that's the math, right? If we wanted it to be perfect, we could do a little bit of a tweak. But you know, we're good. Now you have just a few carrier rockets. And I'm going to show you guys all about how Dyson Spheres are built, because just like with the swarms, there's some cool trickery that we can do with it. And it's going to require, you know, we get to decide how the Dyson Sphere is built. There's many ways to build a Dyson Sphere. You can kind of do it however you want, which is one of the things I like a lot about this game. But for now, let's see. What do we got? What's next? I think one of the biggest tasks we're really going to do, as I said, is going to need to be amping this up. That's absolutely going to be the most important next step, in my opinion, for me. So let's do this. Let's first off put away some of the things that I have in my inventory that I don't super need, like Dyson Sphere components. I don't know if you need those Dyson Sphere components for anything but carrier rockets. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I don't know. We'll figure it out. You know what else I want to do? Where's my interstellar guy? Something just occurred to me in my brain that I wanna sort out before I forget about it. You. What's your minimum load of vessels is 100. Minimum load of drones we're gonna make 50. But you are just not getting enough unipolar magnets. And I don't think we can fit any more vessels into here, if I'm not mistaken, right? We'll figure it out, but I'm almost certain you can't fit more vessels, more than 10 vessels, into this thing. So, I mean, he's getting his unipolar magnets. Pretty good pace, but not as fast as you would really want to, right? Like, it's taking such a long time for those unipolar magnet vessels to fly back and forth. Almost there. As soon as I make one more, we'll find out if we can fit another one in there, but I think 10 is the max. Slots are full. Yep, not mistaken. Not a surprise at all. So we're going to have to figure that out. Now, also, the fact that these guys are always at 0 means that we're probably producing unipolar magnets fast enough on the other planet, but we're just not transporting them fast enough. So if we really wanted to speed this up, maybe logistics carrier research would not be a bad idea. We're going to need a healthy amount of that, plus 50% logistics vessel navigation speed, and plus 100 carrying capacity. Let's do the carrier capacity, I guess, first. Kinda. I'm going to do both of these. I'm going to queue them both up. It's a hefty amount of research cubes to make all that happen, but I think we're in pretty good shape with research cubes. I think we are, at least. I don't know. We're going to, I guess, find out, but let's see what happens if I look at this guy. I mean, he's got a healthy amount in here. So we'll see. I think next episode we're going to focus on chips, right? Orange chips, not nearly enough. Blue chips, not nearly enough. We really, really need to amp that up. Both of those things. So let's plan for that. So we'll wrap up here. We'll come back next episode. We will be ready to significantly improve our chip production in all ways. We're probably going to want to amp up green chips as well. Even though it seems like we're in pretty good shape with them, we could probably, if we're going to be amping up what we're doing, we're going to really want to, you know, do more than just 2, because that's effectively what we're doing. Like, we're not using these green chips much, but we will very soon. So having a dedicated chip production area is going to be huge. Now, unfortunately, none of these processors have alternate recipes. They all just require what they require, right? So there's no rare materials that we can get. Casimir crystals, like, we could kind of, but I don't think that we're short on that at the moment. Though at some point we might want to get those. That'll make it a little bit easier to get plane filters that we need for blue chips. But orange chips, nothing doing. Green chips, nothing doing, and they just are what they are. But we'll figure it out. For now, Daryl20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We're getting very close to being able to do a Dyson Sphere. And once we launch that thing into space, things get really crazy. And we're going to have to significantly amp up our production of stuff. Now, what are you choking on? Are you not getting enough iron, Chief? That could not be true. Could it? It could be. I guess it could be true. Wowzers. I guess it's true. Our iron, wow. Yeah, we need so much. We need to amp up so much. We've absolutely hit that point of the logistics game where you're like, we really need more resources happening. And it'll happen. We'll get there. Don't you worry. Like I said, wrapping up point though, Daryl20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Take it easy.